Right there. I don't know if this is going to help, but this may break it, but well, I lucked out. There was a little, like a little bit of nub of it that I thought I might be able to do something with. Going for a little longer and a little sharper horseshoe nail now to try and make sure well, this is getting pretty thin and spooky here. I think I'll do one more notch, and then I think I will try and get the rest of this point together so that I'm not got these thin glass ears hanging off here. I always try and keep the two sides balanced as I'm going, because if you don't, you're just sort of asking to end up with one short and one long. Alright, so I'm going to leave that like that, and we're going to try and come back up a little. Oh great, now we got a mowing going on. There you are. Say to yourself, what are you doing? Why are you grading so much? Well, I was gonna punch it some more. And you're like, punch it some more? Are you crazy? Well, there's some debate about that, I think. Came all the way over there. At least I didn't mess it up.
You made all of those?
Yeah, no, that's not it.
Yeah.
But some of these are like razor sharp with the edges on these.
They're all razors. This is obsidian. It's volcanic glass.
Where'd you get obsidian?
I went with my son to Oregon and Northern California and got it from a volcano.
That's do you sell arrowheads?
No, I just make them.
He gave me like 2 of them.
What I do, what I was doing today, this big pile of flakes, I had, you know, big pieces of obsidian, and I was just blanking it out, making it, you know, smaller and more manageable to not take up as much room. So this is actually the only point that I've worked on today. This all stuff is just from reshaping this stuff.
You have a lot of this stuff now. I remember when you used to have just a little bit of stuff, and now it's like...
I got a lot now.
Can I show them how sharp one of them are?
Well, hang on a second.
So you make them nice?
No, it's an arrowhead.
Well, you know, some of the things were used as knives and stuff. It's pretty big for an arrowhead. These things are all just razors, and you can see right through it. But what a lot of people don't realize about glass is like a solid liquid. It's just not hot enough for it to melt, but it has no crystal structure at all. It's like a liquid. So it cuts so sharp, it cuts at the molecular level. And you can do surgery with it and it won't scar, because it just like it parts the cells more than slices them and stuff. It's much sharper than a steel scalpel, but the bad thing about it is it's not as strong sideways. So like it can, and if you break it, you can lose a piece of glass in a wound. So that wouldn't be good. But I have heard that they use it very carefully for like cosmetic surgery, like on your face or whatever, where you don't want to scar. You know, you can do that kind of stuff with it. But it's so sharp that I always cut myself accidentally when I'm working it. So a lot of times I'll wear a glove when I'm working obsidian because it's so much sharper than everything else.
That piece, oh, that's just reflection, but yeah,
This stuff is all just, well, you can see how thin the edges are. It's clear right at the edge.
Well, that piece looks really good.
Yeah, they're all really, really, really sharp. Yeah, that's like a little blade. What happens is flakes run along ridges, and so there was a long ridge right here, see? And because of that, I just hit it right here, and it ran all along that ridge and made that little blade. And in actuality, the Native Americans a long time ago made blades like this. They would make a round core and then knock off blades along ridges and get the blades and use those for their tools. But it's kind of cool because anytime you want, you just make you a tool.
I'd say you're prepared for zombie apocalypse just by using arrowheads.
Well, you know, you just get you a
This would be
get you a piece of obsidian. And you see all the sharpness coming off of it. And there you got your blade.
See, I never seen him work with obsidian. He usually just work with rocks. And he would break. Look, he would work with like.
This is a piece of moose antler.
Oh. It looked like a tux.
There's a couple of different kinds of flint knapping.
Are these different than obsidian?
They're just different colors of obsidian.
Oh.
Some people do a modern type knapping where you hit with copper tools and you push with copper tools and stuff. And copper's real grabby and it works really good on edges and stuff.
But the old, like in the old days, they used antlers.
In the old days, they used antlers, leather.
Another rock.
This is a bison rib.
That's cool.
This is like an elbow bone from a deer. And you just punch on it and push on things and use deer antler tines and stuff to push on things.
Wow.
And do it that way. And so I try and do it both ways because I want to be good at all of it. So I like trying to do different, and I work all different kinds of rocks. Because I think it's fun.
Like first, he used to do it at Timber, then he moved down to right here because he didn't have much stuff. And then he moved up to here because it was in the shade and stuff. And and it started getting better. Like every time I came by, he had like more buckets of rocks. Like I swear, it was like another bucket every day.
Every time. Now see,
Everybody
now this is
knows
called
that he
pressure
does it,
flaking.
So they bring him certain rocks.
When you get the edge like you want it kind of, then instead of hitting it, you start getting careful and doing it really carefully, little fine work.
Well, I have this piece of bamboo that I've made into like a little like spear kind of, but I don't have anything that could fit in it. Do you think you can make something that'll fit it right into it?
Well, I could, but the question is, will I? And the answer is probably not. What would you do with a bamboo spear with a point on it?
Well, I have a bunch of swords and stuff, and I just hang them up in my room.
Yeah, you can't go spearfishing, like over there. Down in Walden by the bridge, you can go kill koi.
Well, I might consider it if
pay
you...
for it.
Well, no, it's not the money isn't the issue. I might consider it if one of your parents, you know, came down and said that was okay or something, but I probably... Otherwise, I tend to not give sharp things to young people. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want your parents getting mad at me. But it
What
is...
is this though?
What's that? That's an abrader. It's like,
Is it like a knife sharpener?
well, it's actually a duller. It's not a sharpener. What the thing is that when I go to push on these, if I try and push on a sharp edge, it'll just crush. So like if I pick up one of these and just try and push on the edge, watch. It just crushes. And since it crushes, I can't drive a flake very far because there's no strength to the edge. So what I do is I use this to strengthen the edge by abrading it so that I can drive flakes far. And that way I can use pressure work to still thin and shape the edges. Like, well, you can't see how far that flake went, but that flake ran to there. So it was about an inch long. Well, I can't do that on a knife edge. I have to dull the edge.
Can you make these with like any type of rock or something?
Not any type of rock. You have to have rocks that break a certain way, and that characteristic is called conchoidal fracture. Have you ever seen like a windshield or a window that got like hit with a little rock or a BB where it makes a circle? Well, that characteristic is in physics, as science, it is very predictable because that cone is 100 degrees. So if you hit straight down and it breaks on that kind of rock, it'll put out a cone of 100 degrees and it's 50 degrees each side. Well, people like me can use that to know how to make a rock do this because I know the angles. So since I know the angles, I can hit it in a way that'll take a real thin flake like you're seeing down here. Because it flakes like that, I can make that kind of thing happen. They're ready to go, I think.
This is not interesting. I gotta beat my mom at my house before I get yelled at.
That's all right. That's all right. I understand, guys. Good talking with you. So what time is it? 14 minutes. Got a minute left or so. That's funny. That's funny. That one of them was so polite. It's not that you're not interesting. There were two of them that were sort of easing off to the side, like they were ready to go. funny. Yes, I do know I talk a lot. Kind of a family thing. Everybody in my family seems to have a motor mouth. I'm not saying they're all as bad as me, I'm just saying. Well, this is definitely not a Clovis. Right back.